Veida, veida, súbete a la cama. No sé qué la pasa, el niño no lo mama. Veida, veida, la vestida en lana, casada con Pepe.
Shalom, Omanimot. It's your Morala Omanut, Ava. I'm coming at you virtually today. I'm sad I can't be with you in person, but here we are. We're gonna do Omanut. Nothing will stop us. Today we are learning about a special symbol, a Jewish and multicultural symbol. Then you are going to make your own one of these symbols. So first I'm gonna show you pictures and talk a little bit about this symbol, see what you already know about it. And then after that, I am going to give you a little tutorial, step-by-step instructions of how to make your own today using the materials that we have. And it is one of my favorite projects. I hope you enjoy it, and here we go.
Okay, let's start with you. Take a look at this picture. This is our symbol that we're working with today. And you can pause this video and discuss, what do you already know about this symbol? Do you know its name, its origin, how it's used, who uses it, what it represents, or anything else about it? Where have you seen it before, maybe? And then also discuss what you don't know, what you want to know about this symbol, what you're curious about. And hopefully we'll answer some of these questions in this presentation. Okay, so as many of you may already know, this is a chamsa. A chamsa is a symbol. It's an amulet, which is a magical object, often in the form of jewelry or something that's displayed on a wall. And it's thought to provide protection to whoever is wearing or displaying it. And its name comes from the Arabic word for five, chamsa, which is related to the Hebrew word for five, which is what? Chamesh or chamisha. It's also connected to the Hebrew word for the 5 books of Torah, the Chumash. And the hand is a symbol for 5 because why? Because there's 5 fingers. So each finger can represent one of the 5 books of the Torah. It can also be thought to represent the hand of God, which liberated Jews from slavery in Egypt. And in Islamic culture, in addition to being protection against the evil eye, it can also represent the hand of Fatima, who's the daughter of Muhammad, the prophet. The early use of the chamsa can be traced to ancient Mesopotamian artifacts in the amulets of the goddess Inanna or Ishtar. So that's goddess Ishtar on the left there. The image of the open right hand is also seen in Carthage, modern-day Tunisia, and ancient North Africa, and in Phoenician colonies in the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal. An 8th century BCE Israelite tomb containing a chamsa-like hand inscription was discovered at Khirbet el-Khom. This symbol comes from Muslim and Arab cultures, was adopted by Mizrahi and Sephardic Jewish cultures, and then spread across Jewish culture to become a symbol of Judaism. Okay, let's back up for a second. So we're talking about Sephardic and Mizrahi Jews, right? We can look at this map of the movement of Jewish peoples and cultures, right? So we have Ashkenazi Jews. You can just shout out, where are Ashkenazi Jews from? And then Sephardic Jews. Where are Sephardic Jews from? And then we have Mizrahi Jews, which on this map are called Middle Eastern Jews. They're also Arab Jews. Where are they from? Here's a question for you, a big question, okay? And you can pause the video here to discuss, but why do you think Sephardic and Mizrahi Jews adopted chamsas as protective amulets when they moved to these Arab or Middle Eastern countries and encountered this symbol? So it makes sense, right? If you get kicked out of your homeland and the life that you know, and you have to go somewhere foreign that you don't know the language, you don't know the culture, you don't know what opportunities you'll have, that Jewish people would have benefited from the idea of protection, right? Not only were Jews into the symbol of the chamsa, they were very skilled artisans, and they made chamsas and designed chamsas of their own. So I hope you learned some interesting things about the history of the chamsa, its symbolism, its significance.
Okay, friends, as we wrap up the presentation and we get into making our own chamsas in the long tradition of Jewish metal arts, I wanted to wrap up with this final note from Tom Haviv, who's a Jewish artist, organizer, and writer who made a flag featuring the chamsa, and I wanted to share with you what he had to say about what inspired him to design this flag.
I had a friend who was very excited about this idea that I had of a flag that would encompass or represent a possible binational or one state solution for Israel-Palestine. Mm-hmm. And the idea for the flag is pretty simple. It's a flag with a chamsa at the center. And the idea, simply, for people who don't know what the chamsa is it's a shared Jewish and Muslim symbol, and it's a talisman that protects people who wear it from evil, from the evil eye, and it's a symbol that was super important for my family as Sephardic Jews and as Jews who came from the Middle East, and it was kind of a clue in my experience of engaging with Sephardic Jews, other Jews, and Palestinians and people from the Middle East, that there is this kind of shared vocabulary that needed to be unpacked, and that was maybe a pathway into another way of conceiving of community and conceiving of possibility.
We're making our chamsas today with a technique called foil tooling. So as you can see from these examples, the image is made using texture. So either lines and shapes are popping up off the surface or pressing down into the surface. And then we're going to make a hanger and some beads for decoration around that. Okay, for this project, you're going to have a piece of paper, a backing board, 2 pieces of foam, tape, a pencil, a practice sheet of foil, a large sheet of foil, and some tooling tools, some metal tooling tools, wire cutters and wire, beads, and we'll get started. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is get our piece of paper and our pencil. We can put all the other materials aside for now, and we are going to sketch out our chamsa outline, so a hand. So I'm doing it one of the traditional ways where the thumb and pinky are pointed outward in different directions, and then the 3 middle fingers are going straight up. Some chamsas are also just one thumb going out to the side, and then the other 4 are going straight up. And then some look like a more like realistic hand. So you could even trace your hand if you wanted to, if your hand fits on this piece of paper. So it's up to you how you want to portray a hand. But it's going to take up most of the piece of paper, as you can see, because this is going to be our main feature, our main image. And a classic motif that many chamsas have is an eye in the hand, which it represents the evil eye, so the protection from the evil eye, warding off the evil eye. So I am just kind of riffing off of the lines of the eyelashes. You can make the eye as big or small as you want, and then you can fill in the blank spaces of the hand with some more decorative lines or patterns or designs, anything you want. It could be a magenta bead. Other common motifs for chamsas are fish, which represent abundance, and salamanders, which I'm not sure what those represent, but there are sometimes salamanders. I'm doing some moons because we tell time in Judaism through the moon and maybe the sun. Geometric shapes are always nice, repeating lines. There are printed out pictures of different chamsa designs in the art room that you can take a look at for inspiration and other example chamsas. So once you have your design on the paper, you're going to transfer that design onto the foil. So you're making a sandwich. The paper on top is the bread on top, and then the foil is the middle of the sandwich, and then the foam is the bottom bread of the sandwich. And you are going to tape your piece of paper design right in the middle of your foil, which is, as you can see, bigger than your paper. You're going to tape it down so it doesn't move while you're transferring the design. And then you are going to trace the lines of your design with one of your tooling tools. Probably something that looks like the pointy end of a pencil is your best bet. There are different thicknesses of points that will create thinner or thicker lines, so choose which one you want for the outline. And then once all the major lines are there, you can flip it over to see if you missed any. And then you can take the paper design off and work on accentuating those lines that you made, maybe making them deeper, maybe flattening the areas around it to make it pop out even more. And then you can also create areas or shapes that are completely embossed, meaning raised up, or completely debossed, stamped down, and that will create a nice contrast of different textures. There are also tools that create textures for you, like the wavy line and the wire brushy one, and this one that has the sort of gridded texture. You can make a series of dots with the pointy end of one of your tools. You can use the flat edge of this sort of chisel one to make really flat areas. So just keep working on upping the contrast, so making the highs higher and the lows lower. So whatever is pressed down, keep pressing it down, but you don't want to go too far right, because then it's going to poke a hole if you press really hard. So you're kind of gently but firmly pressing, and this is what the testing foil is really useful for. As you can see how hard you can press and what different pressures and different kinds of strokes have different effects on the foil. so now it's time to mount your foil onto your backing board. So make sure that outside is facing out, and then you are going to carefully fold the edges over onto the back of the backing board, and I'm sort of making lines to help it fold with my tool. And there it is. Be careful of the sharp corners. And then we are going to age our metal. This is optional, but if you want your chamsa to look kind of antiqued old, we can use black India ink, and either you can do it this way where you're brushing it on and then we're going to wipe it away and some of it will be left kind of smudged, or you can put some on a paper towel and rub the paper towel around the surface of your chamsa. And the idea is that the ink will collect in the grooves, the debossed areas, and accentuate those lines and sunken in areas, and then it will make the embossed, the lines and shapes that are popping out really stand out and be really silver. Okay, so now we're going to poke the holes for our wire on all four corners. A teacher will do this for you, and then into the holes go the wires. So the long wire goes into the two top holes. So I'm going to string it from the front to the back, and then I'm going to twist the wire, the end of the wire, around the main wire to close it. Be careful with your fingers. Use pliers. Don't use your fingers because you can cut yourself. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. If you want beads on this hanging wire, add them before you close off the second end. And you're going to do the second one just the same way. You're going to bring it through from the front to the back, twist the wire around itself. Be careful not to touch the sharp end, and then use pliers to sort of clamp down that end so it's not sticking out. Okay, so we have our top wire attached. Now we're going to attach our two short wires, one in each of the bottom holes. So we're going to attach it in a similar way as we did the top ones, making sure the sharp end is curled and tucked in so it's not going to poke anyone. And then you can string some beads on the wire. And then the way that we close off the wire is we put the end of the wire in our pliers, and we make like a circle with the pliers so that it makes a circle on the end of the wire. And that's what, if the circle is closed on itself, then the beads cannot fall off. So you can see that's what I'm doing here. That's, I think, the best way to close off the wire. If you need help with that, just ask a teacher and we can help you. And then we're going to repeat that with our second corner. Twist the wire on, being careful of the end. Attach the beads and then close it off by twisting the end of the wire in a circle. And take your beautiful new artwork home and hang it up in your home for protection and safety and good things coming your way. I hope you enjoy this project, and I can't wait to see what you all come up with. Okay, Lakeitra, see you later. Go have fun.